Do that. All right, so as I was saying, so this is how we calculate the pips. We usually don't record mindset morning. However, today is a great day. So, anyways, so as I was saying, this is how we calculate pips. All right. Now, let's say, for example, you were given a signal like this. How many of you are familiar with signals like this? Please, let's be on the same page. Like you got a signal and this is what it's telling you. Is this something, is this normal? Is this normal for you? Let me know. If this is normal, you've seen this before, just let me know in the chat box. Is it normal for you? Is it normal? 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 It's normal, right? Good. Okay, so yes, it is normal. Now, what you want to know is how do I calculate the number of pips? Okay, so when you see a price, for example, 34.50 was given to us as our entry. Okay, now the difference between your entry to your stop loss and your entry to your take profit is what is your pip count. So when current market price moves from 3450.00, which at this point is 0 pips, when it moves to 10, now price has moved by 1 pip. Okay? When it moves to 3450.10, price has moved by 1 pip. When it moves to 20, price has moved by 2 pips. When it moves to 30, price has moved by 3 pips. When it moves to 90, price has moved by 9 pips. Okay? Now, when this changes to 5-1, price has now moved by 10 pips. Do you understand what I've just done? Do you understand what I just explained? I did the count from the decimal so you can follow. Now, when this figure here, this number just before the decimal point, we have 4 digits before the decimal. When this last number before the decimal point changes, price has moved by 10 pips. So when it changed from 3450 to 3451, that is a 10 pips move. That's a 10 pip move. When it changes to 52, that's a 20 pip move. Remember, the decimal is going to be changing. The decimal is counting single digit pip movement. While the number after just before the decimal here is counting double digit pip movement. So if it moves to 5-3, that is 30 pips. If it moves to 5-4, that is 40 pips. If it moves to 5-5, now that is 50 pips. So if I was to ask you how many pips take profit is this trade, what's going to be your answer? How many pips take profit? TP1 is how many pips from entry? TP1 is how many pips from entry? Based on this explanation, let me even see if you guys are catching up fast enough. TP1 is how many pips from entry? Let me know in the chat box. TP1 is how many pips from entry? Okay, 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 okay. All right, cool, good. Okay. I hope you're not just copying answer. Oh, don't just copy people's answers from the chat box. So it's not a copy class. So all right, cool stuff. So as I was saying, this is how you calculate pips. This is literally how easy it is to calculate pips. So anytime you want to take a trade, you should be aware of how many pips. What is the pips from the take profit, from the entry to the take profits? Now, this is for a buy. This is in a buy situation. This is in a buy situation. I would, if there's time, I would give a scenario for a sell, so you also are able to understand it. However, you can just flip it, and it's basically it's basically entry price minus take profit. Entry price minus take profit. Um, Remember, I said the number before the decimal is a double digit pip movement. Okay, this number here, this number right here is, so if this is 50 pips and then price moves, how many pips is this now? How many pips is this? From entry to this price, right? Price has moved from here to here. How many pips is this? No, Adekemi, you didn't get it. No, Deborah did not get it. But Oluwole got it. It's 51 pips. Remember, when I started this conversation, I told you that. So from entry to this price, entry was here, 34.50. If price has moved to this, how many pips movement is that? That is 51 pips. Yes, that is 51 pips, not 50.1. Because you are looking at these two numbers as one. Forget the decimal point in between them, right? So if you're considering these two numbers like this is now 51 pips. This is 52 pips. This is 53 pips. This is 54 pips. This is 55 pips. This is 56 pips. This is 57 pips. 58 pips. 59 pips. Now, when this guy changes, now we've entered 60 pips. From the entry price to this price, price has now moved by 60 pips in profits. Remember, for a buy, you want price to go above the price. You want market to go above your entry price for a buy, for you to count profits. Okay? Now, do you understand what I've explained so far? Let me know in the chat box. Do you understand what I've explained so far? If you understand, drop a one. If you don't understand, drop a zero. You understand, drop a one. If you don't understand, drop a zero. If you understand, drop a one. You don't get it, drop a zero. Samsung. Samsung, I don't, and okay, well, you're on the call from the very beginning, though. Okay, I see most people understand it, though. So now, tell me, how many pips is TP2? Who can tell me how many pips is TP2 from the entry? TP2 to the entry is how many pips with this calculation that I've just shown you now? TP2 is how many pips? Ooh, that's good. You guys get it. TP3 is how many pips? TP3 is how many pips? Let me see if you people are fast. TP3 is how many pips? 150, 150. Okay, okay. I can see. Yeah, 150 is not correct. It's 200 because now price has moved in triple digits. So when price starts to move in triple digits, so when this other number here, this second number before the decimal starts to change, price has now started to move in triple digits. So when it moved from 50 to 60, that's 100 pips. When it moved from 50 to 70, that's 200 pips. So this is how you calculate your pips. Now from the stop loss, for a buy, the stop loss is usually below the entry. Who can tell me the 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 SL? How many pips is the SL? So this is what you do when you're counting the SL. Hold on, don't answer yet. Okay? So now you see that this SL, we have a double digit change. We have a double digit change. So SL was 3445. In order for this to have moved to 3450, it means that, you know, something happened, right? So if you count 3445 was the stop loss, right? If market price change from this is your entry, 3450 is your entry. If market price change reduced from 3450 to 3449, how many pips changes that? It has dropped now. So the thing with pip movement is it goes it goes both in both directions. As you're using it to count for profit, you're also using it to count for loss. So your entry price is the determining factor. Your entry price is what determines whether it moves up or down, whether the number changes, in a positive or negative, you're going to be counting pips either ways from your entry. So if your entry was 3550 and in our price now dropped to 3449, so how many pips has it moved by? Oluwole already knows this training. You're not a newbie, I suspect. But yes, prices actually moved by 10 pips because if this changes from this to this, that's a 10 pip move. 49 to 50 is 1. And remember that any number before, when the number before the decimal changes, if it changes from the previous number to the next number, that is a 10 pip movement. So if this is changing from 49 to 50, that's a 10 pip movement. All right. So 3449 is 10 pip in loss. 3448 is 20 pips. 3447 is 30 pips from the entry. 3446 is 40 pips from the entry. 3445 is how many pips? Is how many pips? 50, right? So that means for this trade, the stop loss is 50 pips. And TP1 is also 50 pips. TP2 is 100. TP3 is 200. So once you know your pips, once you know your pips, The next thing for you to know, next thing for you to know, or the next thing you need to know would be how to calculate how your lot size and the pips translates to the amount of money you are making or losing. Okay? So I'm gonna do that here. Let me do that. Um, or do I give you a sell scenario first? I mean, it's pretty much the same. Whether you're calculating up or down, like, you just know how to calculate pips. It's the number that determines the pips, not necessarily if it's a buy or a sell. But I just use the buy scenario. I'm sure you'll be able to also apply this in a sell scenario when you see one. Okay? So typically, if this was a sell scenario, all right, we're looking for price to go down. So this SL would most likely be like a TP for you because when price goes down, you make profit. So you want price to drop. If this is your TP1 as a sell, if this is your TP1, then that means your TP1 is 50 pips. As a sell, if price moves up, that goes in loss. So this can be your stop loss. Do you get in a sell? All right. So this 3455 can be your stop loss in itself, and that would be a 50 pips stop loss as well. So basically, can you see how I just interchanged it? The number of pips does not change, but it just is whether now the direction it moves. Buying or selling is what determines if it is profit or loss. But pips count is the same. Do you understand what I just said? Buying or selling is what determines if it is profit or loss, but pips count is the same. Do you get it? Yes or no? Do you understand did the statement I just made make sense? Did the statement I just made make sense? Please let me know in the chat box. Did it make sense? Good. Someone said yes. MS in the chat box if that made sense. Yes. MS in the chat box if that made sense. Good. All right. So now let me go ahead and show you guys how to calculate your lot size or how to determine how much money you are risking or staking in a trade based on this pip counts, illustration that I've just given you. So there are three types of lot sizes. There's micro, there's mini, and then there is standard lots. Okay? Now, um, so for micro lot sizes, we're talking about 0.01 all the way to 0.99. No, sorry, 0.01 to 0.09. This is a micro lot size. Please pay very close attention. Any lot size in this range is termed micro lot size. Okay? Now, for mini lots, now when you move from 0.09, the next number will be 0.10. So 0.10 all the way to 0.99 is a mini lot size. Now, the next set of lot sizes would be standard 1.00 all the way You can have 100 lots if you want, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? You can have, um, yeah, some brokers don't allow you to trade more than 100 lots though. I'm trying my broker to see what the highest number of lots they allow is. Mm, mm. Okay, anyways, so you can actually anything above 1.00 is a standard lot. Your standard lot has, as far as your broker allows you, your standard lot can go really, really far. Really, really, Olofa, Olofa. So, you can uh, your anything above 1.00 is a standard lot size. Okay? Now, I just want you to keep that in mind. Hold that thought while I go ahead and show you exactly how. While I go ahead and show you exactly how you can use this information to calculate your money. Now, in the area of a mini lot size, a 0.01 lot means that you're going to be risking $0.1 for every pip movement. So I would say when you're using a micro lot size, you're risking between 0.01 dollar per pip movement to $0.9. It's less than $1. So if we take the lowest lot, for example, let's say you entered this trade with 0.01. It means that for every pip movement, are you listening to me, guys? You're making or losing $0.1. So In a trade where the TP is 50 pips and you took 0.01 and you're making $0.1 per pip movement, when this trade hits TP1, how much would you have made? I hope this did not confuse you, but let me know. When this trade hits TP1, which is 50 pips, how much would you have made? If you're making $0.1 per price movement, $0.1 for each pip movement, and price now moves by 50 pips, so that is times 50. How many dollars would you have made? Good. So can you see how your lot size controls your money? You may not have control over the pips that were given to you, but what you have control over is your lot size. So what you must first do is check your risk to reward. It means that because even the stop loss is 50 pips, if you lose this trade and it hits SL, you're also going to lose how much? $5. I hope that made sense. Did that make sense? MS in the chat box if it makes sense. Did that make sense? So you can now simply say this particular trade with the stop loss, the pips to the stop loss to TP1, which is the risk to reward ratio, is 1:1. It means that this trade, if I win, I make $5. If I lose, I make $5. I lose $5 as well. It's a one risk to one reward ratio. That's when people say your RR ratio is 1:1. When Kenry, if you join Kenry's section and saying, this is a 1:1, this is what he's talking about. Do you understand? Do you get it? Now, I want to just make sure that you get it. So what this means is if your lot size is 0.02, it means that you've now increased your risk to $0.2 per pip. And at 50 pips, how much are you risking? 0.2 times 50. At 50 pips, how much are you risking? $10. So it means that if this trade hits TP1, you're going to make $10. If it hits TP, if it hits SL, you're going to also lose $10. But if you carry this trade on to TP2, which is 100 pips, now you're talking making $20. If you carry it on to TP3, which is 200 pips, you're talking making $40 with a 0.02 lot size. Did we understand what I just explained? Did that make any sense? Did that make any sense? Did that make some sense? This is the reason why you see some people's profit is bigger than some people's profit. It's you could took the same trade, but it's your lot size. But your lot size is very important because now you've been able to calculate your risk. And you know that if you're taking $100 trade and the risk of that particular trade is $10. Let's say you use if you're taking $100 account rather, my bad. If you have $100 account and one trade is going to cost you $10. Do you think that's a wise decision? If the risk is 50 pips and you decide to use 0.02. I mean, everybody's risk appetite is different. A 10% risk. A $10 risk simply means you are risking 10% of your trading accounts for a 10% return anyways. So risk to reward. So one thing you also want to try to do is even when you take trades, when you can always modify your trades to suit your lot so that your lot size and the pips you're risking on that trade can match. You can always tweak things. And even when you begin to take trades on your own as an independent trader, this is something you must consider. What am I risking and what am I getting? What is my risk and what is my reward? And for what's it called now? For mini lot sizes, the risk to reward ratio is $1 to 9.9. For a standard lot, your risk to reward ratio is $10 and above. So I hope we kind of get it. I hope we do get it. So basically, if you entered the same trade with a 0.10 lot size and you were making $1 per pip, 50 pips will give you how many dollars? How many dollars will 50 pips give you? $1 per pip. 50 pips will give you how many dollars? You get it. Yeah. So it means, God forbid you had $100 and you took 0.10, and God forbid it hit SL, you actually just lost half your account. So when you're increasing the lot size, also check the risk. That's the essence of this trading. Check the risk. So you're sure you can afford the risk. Not the one where one SL hits and you're already crying. SL hits. Yeah. That's why some people are so sentimentally attached to stop losses because when your account drops because of one SL, you're already agitated. You over leveraged. So measure your risk to reward. Okay, does it make sense? Does my risk to my reward make sense? Am I willing to risk $50 to make $50 in return? Potentially make $50 because I mean, it is what it is. That's what trading is about. Risk and reward. This is your risk, and these are your rewards. So, the risk to reward ratio for the stop loss and TP2 is 1:2. If you put your TP as TP2, your risk to reward is 1:2. If you put your TP at TP3, your risk to reward is 1:4. I hope that made sense. I know if you get the chance to study this training over and over again and you begin to practice it, it would actually begin to make sense. But this is to help you know how to calculate your risk to reward and know how to control what you are doing with your trading account. This is what you have control over, your lot size. This is what you have control over. You do not necessarily have control over The pips, well, you can always adjust your pips anyways to suit you. It's either you adjust the pips or you adjust your stop loss, or sorry, your lot size. Can adjust the pips of your, you can edit, you can put whatever TP or SL you want, regardless of what you were given. You are the one still putting the figures, aren't you? Good. You can put whatever TP or SL you want. You can reduce it and say, me, I can't risk 50 pips and reduce it to 30. I can't afford 50 pips. Reduce your ones to 30. Put your TP at 30 or you put your SL at 30 pips. Whichever one you want to do, you can always do that. All right. So I hope we got value on this training today. Unfortunately, I have to end it here, but I'll put out the recording. I'll put it on my YouTube channel so you can have access to it. So make sure to also subscribe to my YouTube channel because I actually do put some trainings on there that I do not do like on the general group chat. So in case you might just find anyone handy or useful, make sure you subscribe so you get notifications when I actually post it. So, guys, I hope you got value on this training. Did you MS in the chat box if it made sense? All right, MS in the chat box. And if you use a standard lot size, remember. So that's why people you see using 1.0, their profit is usually fat because common 50 pips will give them $500 in one trade with a 1.0 lot size. 50 pips will give them 500 US dollars. So you also want to note that in trading, equity would also boost your chances of making more money. So you want to make sure you also have like good capital, good equity, so you can increase that lot size a notch, you know, just so you can increase your chances of the kind of money you're making, right? So yeah. Hope you got value. I hope that makes sense. Go ahead and type value in the chat box. We have come to the end of this training. And, I'm glad that I got to do this with you guys. And I do hope that, okay, you can take a screenshot of the whiteboard before I share it, in case you want to go back and make reference to it. So, I do hope that you put this into practice and that it helps your trading journey. Um, yeah, and it helps your trading journey, and you're able to make better informed decisions with your trading account because you're the one that is controlling it. You are the one that is putting the lot size and the top profit and the stop loss. So, now you know how to better tweak things for yourselves. All right. Thank you all. And I'll see you guys on the group chat. Make sure to go on the group chat and let people know that they missed out. Go on the group chat, let them know they missed out and that you got so much value from this training. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.